Joe Satriani wouldn't have accepted that as a guitar teacher, Alex Skolnick reveals. He would fire you as a student. It's quite impressive the amount of students Joe Satriani had back in the 70s and 80s that went on to become renowned players themselves. In case you forgot, this would include Steve Vai, Kirk Hammett, Larry LaLonde, and Alex Skolnick. During an interview with Defender of the Riff with Daniel Decay, Skolnick recalled first taking lessons from another guitarist in the San Francisco Bay Area, which eventually would lead him to Satch. I took lessons from this guy, Danny Gill, and I took lessons from a couple other guys, Skolnick explained, and at some point I felt like I was catching up to them and I wanted to study with their teacher, and the guys in the neighborhood had all studied with a guitar player named Joe. I didn't know anything about him, Skolnick continued. I just knew he's an Italian guy. His name's Joe, and he's a very serious musician. If you don't do your homework, he'll fire you as a student. And of course, that was Joe Satriani. And years later, everybody knows who that is. But at the time, he was this local legend. So I studied with him for a couple years, and that obviously had a huge impact. However, Skolnick credits Gill with first introducing him to the six-string wonders of Edward Van Halen. He was like the first guy in the neighborhood that could do the Van Halen stuff. So I saw this guy, playing all this, and seeing it in person just blew my mind. I think I saw this guy playing Van Halen before I even had actually heard Van Halen, and then when I heard the real thing, it was like, okay, wow, I want to do that. I need to be a lead guitarist. That's awesome. Up until then, I was just gonna sing and maybe play a little bit of guitar. Then at that point on, it was like, okay, I want to be a virtuoso musician that does lead guitar, and so you had a few guys in town that could do that stuff, which then led to Skolnick crossing paths with Satriani, and by 1985 joining thrash metallists Legacy, which eventually changed their name to